Mr. Sines, are you ready? Okay, good one. Mr. Zagray. I got that. Okay, Mr. Ziegler, whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order, July 1st, 2024. If we could have a moment of silence, followed by Mr. Kisner leading us in the pledge. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, our first order is to have the new board members sworn in by Mrs. Huggins. And
Who do we have first?
Mr. Huber, alphabetically.
Mr. Hovatter.
Alphabetically.
Alphabetically, right.
So I'm going to ask you to repeat after me, and I'm not at all nervous, but you should be. No, I'm just kidding. Raise your right hand, please. I, Michael Hovatter, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of your office as a member of the Board of Education of Preston County, West Virginia, commencing this first day of July 2024 and ending the 30th of June 2028. To the best of your skill and judgment. So help me God. Okay, congratulations. I need you to sign this, please. Grab the other side. Shelley. Raise your hand, please. Okay, and repeat, please. I, Shelley Miller,
I, Shelley Miller,
do solemnly swear that you will support
I solemnly swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state,
and the Constitution of the state,
and that you will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
as a member of the Board of Education of
as a
Preston County,
member of the Board of Education of Preston County,
commencing this first day of July
commencing this first day of July,
and ending the 30th day of July 2028.
ending, commencing
Commencing the 30th day
commencing the 30th day
of
July,
June,
June
2028.
I will mess with that. June 2028,
To the best of my skill and judgment.
to the best of my skill and judgment, so help me God. So help me God.
Mrs. Varner, okay, and after we get that signature, would you get a copy from Mrs. Huggins? Thank you, Lynn. Okay, you want me to use that pen?
I say it so much, I thought I was writing it. I messed
Is that one? Thank you, Mrs. Huggins.
Thank you.
Got it?
Sorry to scare you.
Thank you, Ms. Huggins. Okay, we'd like to welcome Ms. Miller and Mr. Hovatter once again as new board members. And moving on to elections of president and vice president. The first, we will nominate president. Do I hear any nominations?
I'll nominate myself.
Okay. Any seconds?
I'll second that nomination.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Mr. Tatham nominated himself, and Mr. Hovatter seconded. Any other nominations? Okay, move the nominations to be closed. And we're going to do this by individual ballots. In front of you, there are individual ballots. And after you mark them, if you fold them, and they will be collected by Angie.
Mr. Ziegler, based upon the submitted ballots, Mr. Tatham has been elected board president on a 5-0 vote.
Okay, congratulations, Mr. Tatham.
Okay.
All right, next we'll have nominations for the vice president.
I nominate Mr. Cross Kisner for vice president.
Second.
Any other nominations?
Oh, nominations to be closed. Was there any, before I close them, was there any other nominations? Sorry.
It's okay.
All right. Nominations be closed.
Thank you, Mr. Varner. Okay, Mr. Ziegler, Mr. Kisner has been elected on a 4-1 vote.
Okay. All right. Congratulations, Mr. Kisner, Vice President. Now we move seats, right?
Yes, we can move the computers around too. This is Mr. Zigray's computer. Back to your own seat, Mr. Zigray. Yep.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. The board will ascertain the members that will represent the board on the following committees: Economic Development Authority, CTE Craft Advisory, and Extension Service. Do we want to go over who currently serves on those committees?
Sure. I can review that. At this juncture, Mr. Tatham has served on the Economic Development Authority over the last 2 years. CT Craft Advisory, Mr. Zigray served in that capacity, and the Extension Service, former Vice President Feather served in that capacity.
Let's have open discussion about like who's interested in what. I'm currently a member of the Economic Development Authority, so I'm fine with continuing on as that representation. Or if somebody else wants to do it, I have to be on the EDA regardless.
I'm on crafts, and I mean, Mr. Huggins and myself did it together because it's such a big group, so if somebody else wanted to be on that, we're more than welcome.
I would intend on continuing to try to make the CTE meetings, so I have no problem being that other party.
Ready.
Ms. Miller, Mr. Hovatter, do you all have a preference?
No, wherever.
I can fill in wherever I'm needed. I can help.
So would you two want to be on the Extension Service?
That's fine.
That's fine with me.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, and then I'll continue on the EDA.
Okay. So, Mr. Tatham, you're going to continue on the EDA. Mr. Zigray and Mr. Kisner will continue on, or will, be on CTE. Mrs. Miller and Mr. Hovatter will be on the Extension Service. Okay.
Okay, and the next item of business will be the meeting dates and times. In your packet and in the public content on board docs, there is a recommended schedule. So the superintendent recommends the board approve the proposed 2024 and 2025 Preston County Board of Education meeting dates and times.
Mr. Tatham, I would say this particular calendar relatively closely resembles the calendar that's been used during this past year. This is a mixture of daytime and evening meetings. I believe it has 4 scheduled regular board meetings that would be convened here at the board office at 10 a.m. Additional meetings would be scheduled at 6 p.m. Typically on the second and fourth Mondays of each month. There are exceptions to that in instances where certain dates fell on holidays and so forth. Meetings may have been pushed to Tuesday. There are a couple meetings also that are required to be on specific dates. The levy rate is to be established, Katrina, I believe the third Tuesday in April. And the date that's proposed is reflective of that at this time. So I just wanted to put that out to the board. And if it's the board wills to make changes, we'll make whatever changes are brought forth through discussion.
Well, let's get a motion in a second, and then we'll have discussion amongst the board members. So do we have a motion to accept this?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Kisner and a second by Mr. Zigray. Discussion amongst board members.
So clarification on the final page of that calendar, the date present in the body says Tuesday, April 15th, meeting at 9 a.m. The disclosure at the bottom says April 16th. Looking at a calendar, it looks to me like Tuesday is the 15th.
I can make that change if that's.
Again, it's just it's the
Yes.
note at the end, not so much the body of it.
Right. Okay.
And that, yeah, the second Tuesday, third Tuesday, which is correct. A matter of personal request, January 13th, we have a 10 a.m. during the day meeting. We can leave that. That is a personally particularly busy time of my life. I don't know if we could move that to like afternoon, kind of have the day instead of,
Okay. That's,
And just for information for the new board members, what we try to do is, what we've been doing is roughly once a quarter, we have a meeting during the day so that employees of the school system can more easily attend those meetings for discussion.
Mr. Tatham, one reflective change too is the last 2 years, West Preston has typically had to host a board meeting in which it's been most typically personnel hearings. I've scheduled that to a daytime meeting that we could potentially extend if need be to conduct those hearings so that the onus is not placed on that school, continually each year. So I've made a change reflective of that.
What day was that approximately?
February 24th, traditionally that's been slotted for that meeting in February has traditionally been slotted as the West Preston LSIC meeting. So again, I set that as a daytime meeting with the idea that in some instances, daytime hearings work for some of our employees. We could potentially extend the meeting, do go into recess and come back to conduct hearings, similar to what we did that process earlier this spring.
Okay. Okay, is there discussion, any further discussion about Mr. Kisner's request to change the January 13th to an afternoon meeting? Do we want to discuss that now, or is that something that can be done at a later date?
I don't mind a later date if that's more convenient. I mean, the question, I guess, would be, Mr. Martin, if we were to move that to, say, 1 o'clock or whatever, would that still give us accessibility to?
Yes.
Do you perceive that still giving us enough time where staff is here during the day?
Oh, no, I think that would be fine, like, 1 o'clock, for example, 2 o'clock, you would still have access. Typically, the presentations are on there. What I've tried to do is just have a blend. I believe with our director reports, I think in every instance, I have a director scheduled for a daytime presentation and an evening presentation because they'll present to the board formally twice. Now, the directors may be called in for other measures that would require their attendance, but formally scheduled, there are 2, one daytime, one evening, and like at 1 or 2 o'clock, that would still avail an afternoon slot. And I think would be in line with, we're trying to offer those daytime meetings, for example, for parents or citizens that aren't able to make evening meetings, so we're also giving opportunities during the day as well.
Yeah. I'd like to move that we amend the proposed schedule for the January 13th to be at 1:30 p.m.
Okay, Mr. Kisner's made a motion to amend. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Zigray.
January 13. Okay. We need to take voice vote on that, Mr. Tatham, if it's,
Okay, we'll do a voice vote. Mr. Hovatter, we'll start with you and go down the line. So this vote is just to change the January 13th meeting from 10 o'clock a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m.
1:30.
I mean, 1:30.
1:30? I'm sorry.
You had 1:30. Okay.
I'll change it.
And then after the amendment is voted on, then we'll vote on the entire schedule.
Okay.
Does that make sense, Ms. Miller? Okay.
So,
So it's yes or no?
yes.
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 5-0?
Okay, is there any other discussion regarding the schedule? Okay, I call the vote.
Okay, voting is open. Okay, motion passes on a 5-0 vote.
Okay, I will now accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Okay. The motion's been made by Mr. Kisner, seconded by Mr. Zigray. We'll call the vote.
Voting is open. Motion passes 5-0. And what time is it?
8:51.
At 8:50, 8:51, 8:52, guys. Okay.
Thank you all for joining us, and today's meeting is closed, and we want to again welcome our new board members. Thank you.
New board members in particular.